Okay, so imagine that there are twists and turns in the bends of the river of your marriage. And there are constant micro challenges and disputes that emerge in the course of the marriage. Okay, here's the new rule, okay? Every time you encounter any doubt whatsoever in your life, question the integrity of your marriage. Right, okay, so here's what happens to a depressed person. So let's say you have a little bit of a dispute with your husband, and it produces a little negative emotion. And you think, oh my God, I caused some trouble. That's the first thought. I caused some trouble. Here's the next thought. I've caused a lot of trouble in the past. Next thought, I caused a lot of trouble in the present, and I'm likely to continue to cause a lot of trouble in the future. Okay? A person who causes a lot of trouble in the past, present, and future, they're really not a very good person. They're not really fit for a marriage. They're probably not fit to live. I should commit suicide. Okay, so that's how a depressive person thinks. Now, think about how that works. So you go from a micro challenge, you had a little scrap with your wife, and then you take yourself apart right down to the foundation. And the foundation in that case would be, do you even have the right to exist? And so a depressive person has no defense against that cascade of doubt. Okay, so now imagine this is what we're doing to children. We know that children establish the ability to distinguish between male and female extremely early. They can do that as infants. They can likely do it as newborns. So that ability to distinguish between male and female is fundamental. The reason it's fundamental, obviously, is because if you can't distinguish between male and female, you're not going to reproduce. So now we know not only is that true biologically, but also conceptually, it seems the case that the distinction between masculine and feminine symbolically is a distinction that's at the bottom of our ability to perceive as such. We tend to make gendered categories in the world almost automatically. So there might be no more fundamental perceptual category than sexual differentiation. It might be more fundamental than up or down, or dark or light. It's at least in the same domain. So this is now what we're doing to teenagers when they're confused. We're saying every time you manifest even a shred of doubt about anything, the first thing you should do is question the most fundamental element of your being, and you should do that continually. And then it's even worse than that, even though that's really bad, because we're dooming them to something like anxious depression by doing that. It's even worse than that, because, well, let's say, I've been reading about this, I think it's demi-boy identity. It's sort of, well, mostly you're a boy, but sometimes you feel that you're a girl. It's something like that, or maybe I have it backwards. I don't really give a damn, to tell you the truth. But here's the problem with that. It's like, let's say you have a non-standard gender identity. Okay, what the hell are other people supposed to do about that? Like, what are the rules here, right? Because if you're a woman, I kind of know how to treat you. I'm going to do it in a stereotyped way to begin with, because I don't know who the hell you are, so I'm going to use, low-resolution approximations, and those are going to be stereotypes. They're no different than categories. And then when I get to know you, I'll particularize it. But if I don't know whether you're male or female, what the hell should I do with you? You don't know, because you don't know what the rules are. And so the simplest thing for me to do is just not do anything with you. The simplest thing for me to do is go find someone else who's a hell of a lot less trouble, and who's willing to abide by the social norms enough so that they don't present a mass of indeterminate confusion on immediate confrontation. And then, the riposte from the transgender side is, well, if you were a little more tolerant, you'd know how to give me what I want. It's like, I don't have a bloody clue how to give you what you want. I have no idea. I don't know how to give me what I want. I can barely manage it with my wife. I certainly have no idea what to give a bald man with a mustache in a red dress. I have no idea what to do with you, and neither do you. No one knows the rules. So we tell kids, question your identity, specify your non-binary orientation, But then what? Like, what's the life path associated with that? How are you going to conduct yourself as an adult, as someone who's non-binary? Are you going to get married? How are people going to treat you at work? What are you going to do with your kids? How are you going to dress? You don't know the answer to any of those, and neither does anyone else. Those aren't identities. They're not identities. They're masses of ideological confusion, and that's all. An identity tells you and other people how to perceive and how to conduct yourself.